Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Parole Officer Trisella, and I'm a hearing examiner at the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a preliminary hearing concerning Antonio Elliott, inmate number 389191. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, and this hearing is being conducted via video at the Board of Pardons and Paroles Central Office in Hartford Correctional Institution. Can you please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record?
Antonio Elliott, inmate number 389191.
Thank you. This is a public hearing, and public access to this hearing is available via video live stream. This is a preliminary hearing, which has three purposes under Connecticut law. The first is to determine if there's probable cause to believe you committed an act that violated the conditions of your parole. The second is to determine if the act is sufficiently serious to warrant the revocation of your parole. And the third is to determine if you should be held in prison pending further proceedings. The state, not you, has the responsibility to show that there's probable cause to believe you violated one or more of the conditions of your parole. If I do not find probable cause, I will reinstate your parole, which means releasing you and placing you back on parole supervision. If I find probable cause and determine that the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation, you may be held in prison pending further proceedings. You should know that a preliminary hearing is an adversarial proceeding, and anything you say at this hearing can be used against you. And the testimony at today's hearing will be taken under oath. So, Mr. Elliott, can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning the case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Thank you. So we're going to go over the procedure for your hearing. So first, I'm going to read you your rights. Then we're going to review the parole violation charges that the state, your parole officer, is bringing against you. I will then review and identify the exhibits filed for the record. The state is not present at today's proceedings. However, you will have the opportunity to address the issue of probable cause and the severity of the allegations. At the conclusion of this hearing, I'll inform you of my findings, which will be based on the available evidence. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No.
So you do have important rights to this hearing, and the first right that you have is that you have the right to be represented by an attorney. You may hire your own attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, you may qualify for an appointed attorney to represent you. Were you informed that an attorney can represent you at this hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and are you intending to seek counsel for this hearing?
No.
So just to confirm, you are okay with moving forward today without any legal representation?
Yes.
You have the right to receive written notice of the charges of violation. Did you receive the written notice?
Yes.
You also have the right to review evidence against you before this hearing. You have the right to submit evidence in support of your case. You have the right to call and examine any voluntary witnesses or cross-examine any adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights, and are you ready to go forward?
Yes. I didn't get the evidence, but yes.
You did not get the evidence?
No.
Would you
I
like
just got the charges.
Okay, so no, so you haven't received a packet of the evidence. Would you like to continue this hearing to receive that evidence? My next hearing is January 21st.
Will I still get it even after the hearing?
So if we stop now and continue this for you to receive it, we'll make sure that we get a copy of it to you before your next hearing date.
No, I'll just go with it.
Okay, as long as you're sure. So I am going to review the charges now that the parole officer has brought against you. It just is going to take me a moment to get through, so bear with me. But I'm going to read each of the charges and the underlying violation details. So for charge number 1, condition of GPS, your charging officer reported that on 12/5/24, you were issued a misconduct for battery shutdowns to your GPS unit on the following dates: 11/6/24 from 2:14 a.m. to 8:40 a.m., 11/7/24 from 4:55 a.m. to 7:45 a.m., 11/17/24 from 11:20 a.m. to 11:25 a.m., and 11/25/24 from 7:04 p.m. to 11/26/24 at 12:50 a.m. You're in violation of your signed GPS monitoring agreement. On charge number 2, condition of obedience to the law, the charging officer reported that on 12/16/24, during a motor vehicle stop in the city of New Britain, officers of the New Britain PD conducted a canine search of the vehicle you were operating. During the search, officers confiscated a Smith & Wesson .380 caliber firearm containing 6 rounds in its magazine, 1 plastic bag containing crack cocaine, and 8 purple vials containing crack cocaine. Both bags and vials have an aggregate weight totaling 10.59 grams. During the motor vehicle stop, it was also determined that you were that you were operating the vehicle with a suspended driver's license. Subsequently, you were arrested for the following charges: 21A-278B1A, possession with intent, narcotic substance; 14-18A, failure to display plates, inserts; 14-215, illegal operation of a motor vehicle under suspension; 53A-212, stealing firearm; 53A-217, criminal possession of a firearm, ammo, defense weapons; 21A-279A2, possession of controlled substance, second offense; 29-38, legal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle. And you were arraigned in New Britain Superior Court on 12/17/2024 for the charges previously specified. On charge number 3, condition of drugs, the charging officer reported that on 12/16/24, during a motor vehicle stop in the city of New Britain, officers of the New Britain PD conducted a canine search of the vehicle you were operating. During the search, officers confiscated one plastic bag containing crack cocaine and 8 purple vials containing crack cocaine. Both bag and vials have an aggregate weight totaling 10.59 grams. Subsequently, you were arrested for the following charges: 21A-278B1A, possession with intent, narcotic substance; 21A-279A2, possession of controlled substance, second offense. You were arraigned in New Britain Superior Court on 12/17/24 for the charges previously specified. On charge number 4, condition of weapons, the charging officer reported that on 12/16/24, during a motor vehicle stop in the city of New Britain, officers of the New Britain PD conducted a canine search of the vehicle you were operating. During the search, officers confiscated a Smith & Wesson .380 caliber firearm containing 6 rounds in its magazine, registered to another party. Subsequently, you were arrested for the following charges: 53A-212, stealing a firearm; 53A-217, criminal possession of a firearm, ammo, defense weapon; 29-38, illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle. And you were arraigned in New Britain Superior Court on 12/17/2024 for the charges previously specified. Charge number 5, statutory release criteria. On 12/16/24, during a motor vehicle stop in the city of New Britain, officers of the New Britain PD conducted a canine search of the vehicle you were operating. During the search, officers confiscated a Smith & Wesson .380 caliber firearm containing 6 rounds in its magazine, 1 plastic bag containing crack cocaine, 8 purple vials containing crack cocaine. Both bag and vials have an aggravated weight totaling 10.59 grams. During the motor vehicle stop, it was also determined that you were operating the vehicle with a suspended driver's license. Subsequently, you were arrested for the following charges: 21A-278B1A, possession with intent, narcotic substance; 14-18A, failure to display plates, inserts; 14-215, illegal operation of a motor vehicle under suspension; 53A-212, stealing a firearm; 53A-217, criminal possession of a firearm and defense weapon; 21A-279A, 2, possession controlled substance, second offense; 29-38, illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle. You were arraigned in Britain Superior Court on 12/17/2024 for the charges previously specified. The state has also submitted the following exhibits that have been pre-marked for identification purposes. That's Exhibit A, which was the remand to custody; Exhibit B, the parole violation notice; Exhibit C, the parole violation report; Exhibit D, the signed parole conditions; Exhibit E, the signed GPS agreement; Exhibit F, the New Britain police reports; Exhibit G, the misconduct report dated 12/5/24; Exhibit H, the decision information summary; Exhibit I, the Connecticut judicial case lookup; and Exhibit J, the Allied Universal GPS monitoring reports. So we already discussed this, but you mentioned that you did not receive any of the evidence I've just identified. Is that correct?
Yes, I haven't received it.
Okay, so one more time, would you like to continue this hearing for you to receive the evidence, or are you still willing to move forward?
No, I'm willing to move forward.
Okay. So I have not received any exhibits from you. So at this time, it is now your opportunity to respond to the parole violation charges against you. However, I do want you to remember that you have the right to remain silent if you choose to do so. And that anything said at this hearing can be used against you, okay? So would you like to make a statement regarding the charges of your violation?
Yeah, I know that the GPS violations, I know that I violated those. One was while I was at work, I couldn't leave work to charge it. And the other 2, I fell asleep getting off of work and didn't wake up and charge it. But as for the charges, I wasn't operating the vehicle. But
So I just want to, again, you're pending a court case, correct? This is still pending
yes,
in court. So just so
yes,
you're aware, anything you say today can be used against you at any point. So I just want to remind you, you do have the right to remain silent as well,
yeah.
okay? So
I'm just wondering if the case gets dropped, if the criminal case gets dropped, what will be the next? Like, what will happen next?
So whenever the disposition happens of that case, whatever happens, we'll be notified by your parole officer and you'll come back for a revocation. We'll meet again to go over the thing. But as of now, again, if it is still pending, just
Yes.
know that this is an adversarial proceeding as well, okay?
No, I know.
All right, would you like to, are you make any other statements or just for the GPS?
No, will I be able to still just get the evidence against me, even though I'm doing the hearing right now?
Yeah, I'll make note of it and I'll tell my supervisor. It should be on its way if you haven't received it yet, because sometimes they put it in the mail.
Yeah.
But I will make note of it.
All right.
Okay, so we're ready to move forward then?
Yeah, I know I'm guilty. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna make my findings. So for charge number 1, a condition of GPS, I do make a finding of probable cause based on the state's exhibit C, D, E, G, and J. Charge number 2, I make a finding of probable cause for obedience to the law based on exhibit C, D, F, and I. Charge number 3, condition of drugs, I make a finding based on state's probable cause based on state's exhibit C, D, and F. And charge number 4, condition of weapons, I'm making a finding of probable cause for state's exhibits C, D, and F. On charge number 5, the condition of statutory release criteria, I'm making a no finding of probable cause as the violation doesn't meet, the violation meets the elements of other Connecticut parole conditions, and therefore the state didn't provide sufficient evidence in support of that charge. So at this time, I am making a finding that the acts are also serious enough to warrant revocation, and I've also determined you should be detained while you wait your revocation hearing. So the records office and your parole officer will be notified of this information. As we just discussed, revocation hearing will be scheduled upon the disposition of your pending criminal charges, okay? So once that happens, we'll get you back here, okay? Do you have any questions at this point, Mr. Elliott?
No.
Okay, we are all set then, and I have made note that if for any reason you don't receive the evidence, you can write to your institutional parole officer and ask them for them, but I would assume that it's probably coming to you in the next week or so, okay?
All right.
All right, so this does conclude the preliminary hearings for Antonio Elliott, and we're going off the record. You're all set, Mr. Elliott.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.